239, whereas the Discarded Knight has sold over 400. But in total, between November of last year and basically relatively now, I found this out through just digging up those papers you get from ordering books. I have sold 961 books.
Nice.
So, and by the way, we're live.
I was going to say,
we are.
Roe decides to be a smart ass, and he started it live. So, yeah.
There's my bragging session for you.
So, anyway, before we start, I do have to brag and be shameless. This just came in the mail today. I now have physical copies. The paperback, hardbacks will be next week. This launches on the 25th, so 10 days from now. You can still get the pre-order, or you can contact me and be the first physical copy sale, because I haven't sold one yet in the hour that I've had these.
I would have my book to show you too, except for the people doing the cover put Rosaire back cover words here on the back. It's like, good God. It's like ordering a cake at Walmart, for God's sake.
Like you birthday wrong.
But anyway, we're here to talk about Andrew. So, evening things. Andrew, EL is going to get on here sooner or later, and he's going to start yelling and screaming that he needs to see your books.
Okay.
So let's neuter EL. That's going to be our. So what do we have here?
We have the Discarded Knight and the Ignited Moon.
Dude, nice. Those covers rock.
Oh yeah. The designer, her name is Katrin Russell, and she's based out of Sweden.
Where'd you find her?
She was recommended by someone, and I started chatting with her, and we're scheduled for September to start working on the next book, Prim Noir, which I had out with a small press. And then that small press went, up in smoke. And so now I'm republishing that.
Nice. I have to say your Discarded Knight, that was perfect when I made the thumbnail up to have like a halo around your head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, yeah, we have to size this perfect. Yeah, yes, must have the halo.
Well, anybody who comes on the show probably should be sainted if we're fair.
Yeah, it's true. You deserve more than what you get. So what is the Discarded Knight about? Tell us about it. Because,
it is about a Victorian-era teen that goes from an outcast to a hero as he jousts to free his family from another dimension. It's a portal fantasy. It's a young adult. It has some Batman references. It deals with the issues of bullying, and it has autistic representation in it. And the main character, Alfred, he goes through all sorts of ups and downs that always disappoint his parents because his parents are just unpleasable, and it eventually leads to him finding acceptance through family.
So hold on. Your main character's name is Alfred?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that a lot. I really like
it. You don't hear it a lot.
No.
So yeah, I needed a name that you just don't hear. So
Rosaire's up for grabs.
Yeah, and in my book, I used Hiram because who names their child Hiram?
Not too many.
So we're going to see how many times I can do this in the show, Ro. That's 3.
I tell you what, every time you do that, Mike, I will do this. Andrew, you're fine. I won't do that to you. Andrew, so it's Victorian. Is it like Victorian age London?
Yeah, it's Victorian age London.
Okay, so here's my question. What if he went to free his parents from this alternate dimension and they didn't want to go back to the soot-stained, cabbage-eating kind of shit on the street, smelling nasty London in the Victorian age?
That's a very good question. I mean, he's sent to the other dimension to free brothers and sisters. His father's perfectly fine with the cabbage and the steep incline of the stairs built into the Victorian era houses and everything, because he has his own butcher shop, which he's made loads of money off of. So his parents are fine in that part of the time, but his brothers and sisters not so much. They've gone through too much turmoil with dad, so they want to be sent back to their time periods.
I suppose Victorian London has its appeal if you're,
Well,
I think if you're wealthy, yeah. I mean, if you're what's his name? If you're Charles Dickens and any of his characters, not so much.
Right.
That's
what I was thinking. It's like, hey, welcome, son, welcome. I'm here to bring you home.
Please, Dad, may I have some more?
That's right. We're good here with the murderous bandits. So, I mean, is the other dimension really horrible?
No, the other dimension, they're stuck there. They don't age. They can't leave unless they win their freedom. They want to go back to their own time periods, to their parents, and not be trapped there. They live in this kind of what I call almost like a mountain village sort of thing, and they have to leave somehow. I actually never really developed a reason why it's terrible, other than the fact that they are trapped there. So the story was more. Go ahead. Sorry.
You saved that for the next book because you want that to be a plot point. Then you didn't not forget about it. You just saved it for the next book.
Yeah, I mean, it's more. The story's more directed at a person who happens to be born differently from others, discovering his bravery and helping others who are born differently. Like he has a sister who was born without legs. He has a brother who's kind of somewhat simple, and then there's actually other countries with other fathers that are equally as bad as his dad that want to be free as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, once you read the book, you'll get it. But it's just kind of like a journey through getting out of this spot where his family is ashamed of him to being in a more self-accepting mind frame.
So how did you get into writing?
Well, I got into writing first by basically I started reading Game of Thrones books, and then I thought, well, hey, this is something neat, and this is something that I'd like to try and do. And I had originally wanted to become a voice actor, but I wasn't really serious enough about it. And I actually found out that I wasn't serious about it because I went to Steel City Con and spoke to the actor who played Cliff from Cheers. And he said, well, you're not serious if you're not willing to leave Pennsylvania and go out there. So I wanted something to be serious about. So I chose writing, and it just went on from there.
Cliff Clavin dogged you out. He said, if you're not willing to leave Pennsylvania, you're not serious.
Yeah. Cliff Clavin, yes.
I like Cliff Clavin, but that's kind of a BS answer.
Well, it's
People
true.
do voice acting from all over the place, right?
Well, they do it from all over the place, but I don't know. I mean, I forget. I think it was like 20. I forget what year it was that happened, and we just were discussing, and I just made it sound like I wasn't serious enough to, leave Pennsylvania and do this and do that. I didn't know all the specifics. I just knew that I knew how to do certain voices, like Mark Hamill's Joker, the Clown Prince of Crime.
I've never seen it, but I'll assume that was good.
You haven't watched Batman the Animated Series?
I have not.
No.
I did see Superman this weekend, though.
It was good. That was a good movie.
It was all right. I'm not usually into the DC stuff, but they did a nice job with it. I think James Gunn kind of humanized him and made him not quite so much of an arrogant prick as he usually is.
Right.
It was all right.
So, Andrew, are both your books in the same universe?
No, they're in separate universes. The Discarded Knight's its own thing, and the Ignited Moon is in what's called the Iron Frost universe. And the Iron Frost universe will have 3 books. The Ignited Moon is one of 2 prequels to a larger book, and that larger book will answer questions those 2 books didn't. And it's almost like the larger book, in a way, is like a direct sequel to both. If you read them a certain way, or how you read them. I kind of figured that out later, because I was like going over the Ignite Moon, and I was going over the other one, and I was like, wow, the third one's almost like a direct sequel. Originally, they were supposed to be a trilogy, but then, Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men.
Right. Yeah, my fantasy series is going to be 4 books, and now it's going to be 7. So, yeah, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
It's only going to be 7 if you actually write it. Stop, doing all these little things that you're doing now, man. Get back to your first series.
Proxima Station?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody brought up Firefly.
Firefly?
Why would we bring up Firefly? Why?
Because Firefly is awesome.
No, it's rubbish.
I've never watched it. I mean, I like Nathan Fillion. I like some of the actors that were in it, but I've never watched Firefly. I'm more of a Star Wars guy.
You've saved yourself valuable time.
Oh, he's a Star Wars guy. So has he?
Huh?
He says he's a Star Wars guy, though. So has he really saved his time?
Which Star Wars?
Well, I would say the original trilogy, and then Rogue One.
Okay.
And then
all the rest is hot trash.
Well, everything after Return of the Jedi is basically hot trash. Mandalorian, it was okay until certain things started happening. Book of Boba Fett, it made Boba Fett look weak, and he's not like that. And what else did they put out? I didn't watch Ahsoka, so.
So I stopped after Rogue One, which was just kind of for me, and I was like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
So,
kind of stopped after Return of the Jedi.
I wish I would have.
Because the third one is the one with the Ewoks who are in it, right? The little teddy bear people. It's like, come on. What's up with that?
Yeah, you come off of Empire Strikes Back, and it just kind of hit Return of the Jedi, and it's like, oh, we have another Death Star. Oh, now we got teddy bears.
Yeah, I mean, how quickly did they build that second Death Star? The hell?
That was pretty quick, though.
Yeah, that really was.
Yeah.
Here's my question for a Star Wars guy. Sorry, dumb question. In the first whatever one it was, where Luke has to go down that stupid trench, right? Mm-hmm. And he has these missiles that somehow take a 90-degree corner down this, little hole. Why couldn't they have just shot that said missile from straight above the damn thing? It is a 3-dimensional space, right? It's not. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's not a tank battle.
They can go George doesn't specialize in physics or mathematics. He specializes in space wizards and teddy bears and very, very noisy golden robots.
And whatever those damn little furry penguins are on one of the later ones.
Yeah.
What?
I think that was when they got into the real crappy stuff with Rey, which was dumb. It's like, why would you bring Palpatine back?
Merchandising, that's why.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about the bling bling, money.
Oh. Yeah, and EL brings up a good point here. Oddly, Jesus, Mike. All is at a loss for how societies construct massive space stations or even ships without millions of skilled workers. The amount of resources and money it would take to build something like that. Mm-hmm. What? For what end? I mean, if you have that much money and resources, do you need anything else? Right?
Right. It's that suspension of disbelief thing, we're supposed to believe that from the point of the last Death Star going kablooey to a new Death Star, that they somehow built another one, and it wasn't even finished. So
And they found people to work in it. It's like, yeah, I'm not working in that. We saw what happened to the last one.
the job security for that would be interesting.
So what you're saying is that you'd much prefer to have the Darth Jar Jar as the Sith Lord.
No Darth Jar Jar. Let's go back to the original trilogy, and then all the books that they decanonized, and then I think they might have recanonized the books. I'm not sure. I've lost track. So.
I did read the Thrawn trilogy. That was actually very good. And then they said, that's too good. We can't make movies out of that. Let's do some other crap instead.
Yeah. Let's do this. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy. But, But anyway.
They made
this
billions.
Wonderful book here.
Well done, you.
Well, I know it was. It was. I mean,
I'm sick of these two guys talking about dumb shit. This is my book again.
Yeah.
Don't say go buy it. Come on.
Hey, I'm trying to catch up with Mike. He's raised his book more times than I have. And all that, I just got off work not too long ago and everything. I'm sore. I got to stretch out the muscles.
What do you do?
I am a custodian at the school that I graduated from.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to stretch out your muscles. So what does a custodian at a school do when there's no school?
Well, we deep clean the rooms, scrub carpets, clean the lights, fix things that need fixed.
Get it ready for the little
and get it all ready for it to be destroyed by the kids next year. So,
what's the coolest thing you ever found in one of their lockers that you found unlocked?
The coolest thing I ever found was a Santa Claus. It was just like a little toy Santa Claus. And then after that, I found a bunch of craisins and all that. So I was like, yeah, finders keepers. You left it here, and you didn't pick it up before the end of the school year. So I've got a snack. And they're those kids hoard
no alcohol or weed or anything like that, though.
Well, it's elementary school, so I would hope
okay.
none of that would be in an elementary school. I'm
glad that I found high school.
Raisins and all that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Andrew, EL is telling you when you raise your book, you have to hold it for longer so people can process it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and
nice cover. I like that.
And we're going to be doing this again in another couple of weeks when Ro has his book. But anyway, so the next book you're writing is a sequel to which one of those two?
It is it's a technically I would like to call it a second prequel. It goes to this book right here. There's the Ignited Moon, and then there's Prim Noir, and then they tie into what's called the Orderman. And this takes you into the ancient world side of what I call the Iron Frost universe. And then Prim Noir takes you into a more Middle Ages sort of world because it's 3 different continents. And I wanted to make it be like a Middle Ages / kind of spaghetti Western thing, but I failed at that. So I just created a Clint Eastwood character in that story. So it's just more Middle Ages than anything else. But that one's about, self-acceptance and bringing down a dictator in a tournament. And a good bit of hunting. So I think I could probably sell that and do a signing at Cabela's because there's a good bit of hunting in it. So I'm sure I can bring in at least the hunting crowd with that one. With
a lot of readers in the hunting crowd. I guess you know what? I take that back. I meant that to be snarky because I thought about it as I said it. I used to go hunting with my dad, and he would bring a book.
That's true.
Because you're just sitting there. Right, you got nothing else to do until an animal's kind enough to come up and within shooting distance. So yeah, that's a fair idea right there, young man.
It is because I mean, you're coming in the beginning. It starts out with a hunt, or the end of a hunt, I should say, and then it just gets steadily crazier from there. And I have a creature that I created for that book, Prim Noir. I'm especially proud of, called a storm bison, who breathes storm clouds out of its nostrils, and it creates rainstorms. And depending upon the coldness of the weather, it can become snow or sleet. And if it's a black storm bison, the clouds can emit lightning and thunder, and it plays a big part in that book.
How come Creature Creations has never come up with anything that cool, Mike?
Because we haven't had Andrew on it yet.
Yeah, I mean, what does Creature Creations give us? Little freaking amoeba-sized tooth stealers.
Yeah, I also have I have Cobra Swifts, and then I have this one called a Chi Fox, which is a combination of a fox and a cheetah, and I got that from the idea from Robin Hood Men in Tights, because they say, let's fox them, and puts the little note on top of the fox, and the fox, scurries off to. So that's where I got that idea.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's the first reference we've ever had to that movie on the show.
Nice. Yeah.
That was a classic. Man, that was all right.
It's great. You can notice different things as you every time you watch it.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think I might have to fire it up again.
Oh yeah.
Men in Tights.
So, Ro, I'm going to ask my question. I have faith in Andrew. Andrew's.
So do I. Like 95% of the other people.
There's only one correct answer, and about 90% of people get it wrong. 95. So I want you to picture you're going down the main drag of your city. You're in a saddle. You can either be riding a T-Rex or a Griffin. Which one do you choose and why? Go.
I would choose a Griffin because it has way more, flight, the sharp beak, talons, four limbs that work properly. You don't have the scrawny little arms like this to put up with. Everything's fully fleshed out and accessible with a Griffin, and if you trust it enough and you're going on a night flight and you know each other very well, you could sleep on its back and be in the nice, soft kind of the feathers and everything. Whereas a T-Rex and all that, you're not really sure what's going to happen because it's predominantly a carnivore, so it's going to devour you if you fall off its back or
Okay, so I have a new theory about this. Are you a terrible road rager? Because I hate other drivers, and that's why I want the T-Rex, so it can grab other cars with its mouth and fling it into buildings and get them out.
Maybe you wouldn't hate other drivers as much if your car wasn't so bad. Your new one's actually all right, but you drove a piece of shit for a long, long time.
No, I'm not a road rager at all. I'm pretty decent on the road.
Oh, I am not, and that's why I want the T-Rex. I just want to throw other cars out.
Andrew, not only do most people pick the Griffin, but they also say exactly what you said with the T-Rex's arms.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody picks on the T-Rex and his little bitty useless arms.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Well, I've seen the first three, and then I think I watched at least one of the Jurassic Worlds, and I thought I saw something somewhere to where they made the T-Rex have the ability to swim, and the little arms are a factor.
The dog.
That's essentially what it amounts to.
Ooh.
I mean, think about it. You can't if that T-Rex was sentient, smart, whatever, what have you. It can't even pick its teeth to get the little tendons out from a horse.
Andrew, it uses
that's why there's so much space between them.
It's true.
It uses its little bitty arms to hold on to your feet to keep you there on top of his back. That's what the little arms are for.
Well, just let you know, I have more in common with a Hobbit than LeBron James, so he's not going to be able to reach those legs. They're too short.
Oh well.
Don't walk around barefoot, do you?
Sometimes, not all the time, and everything.
But I mean, like in general, daily life.
In general,
okay.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and I want to ask about the Cliff Clavern conversation, because you live in what would be called Pennsylvania, correct?
Yeah, I live where Arnold Palmer was raised and where Mr. Rogers came from in Latrobe.
And you would not want to leave Latrobe to go to LA? I mean, granted, I would not either, but Harvard, no idea I'm going to be a voice actor. So
If I wanted to be real serious about being a voice actor, I mean, if you can do it from home, do it from home. But I mean, I don't have a special sound booth or anything, so I'd be willing to take a chance and maybe and travel now that I have myself more together, and I'm in a more creative headspace. Back then, it wasn't so much, but I wouldn't want to go to California hardly at all. Unless it was business. It'd have to be business strictly. I wouldn't want to live there because taxes and so forth.
I wouldn't want to leave a public restroom to go to LA.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I've seen
Not
stuff.
to
Like, no.
Right. Yeah. Right. If somebody's offered me a Netflix deal for a book or something, I'll happily go spend a week or so out in LA and
Yeah, me too.
get the paperwork signed and get all that done. But I'm not, spending $1 million on a 200 square foot shack out there.
Yeah, me either. No, thank you. I'll stay here. I'll go for business.
8 years ago, and I would go back to 8 years ago. 2017 LA was okay, but I don't think I'd go back now.
No, me
I'll
either.
go back 8 years. I'd be in my 40s again. That would be great.
Well, I mean, I haven't really aged much since 2008, which I think it's because I have the one ring, so I'm in pretty good shape there. So,
one thing I have to correct EL. He was a hippogriff, by the way, Buckbeak. He was not a griffin.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
But anyway, I really do hate to do that because EL's on my side. He's one of the few who understands it. T-Rex all the way. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what is the weirdest task or job that you've had to do?
Really,
Beyond
I mean, there really hasn't been any weird tasks or jobs that I've had to do. I've just kind of made them weird. I was sorting scrap metal the one day for my folks, and it was icy, and just like Moby Dick, the great white whale got harpooned because I tripped in the wheelbarrow arm harpooned me and all that. So it just felt like a recreation of Moby Dick minus the water. So that's probably the pretty strangest thing. It's like the great white whale has been harpooned.
What did you do with a wheelbarrow?
I was pushing a wheelbarrow full of scrap metal to go sort it from stainless and everything, and I slipped on ice, and the wheelbarrow fell, and then the arm of the wheelbarrow, whatever you want to call it, the handle, harpooned me.
Oh.
And I'm a very heavy guy to begin with, so the great white whale is harpooned.
Hershey blows, Captain.
That's a bonus, Captain.
Yeah, I mean, you ever see those cartoons where like Fred Flintstone is bowling and the bowling ball doesn't come off his fingers and he goes like flying down the aisle on his face? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that once.
Oh, and wow.
If you've never been face down on a bowling alley, it's really greasy and
I'd imagine
it's not very nice, actually. So I wouldn't recommend it. But
no,
I would love to have had a picture of it though.
And how inebriated were you, Ro?
Not. I was quite young.
Ooh. Wow. Oh, okay. Too young to drink in Vermont. So you were what, 6?
Something like that. No, I think I was like, I don't know. I may have been an adult. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
Yeah, wax. That's what it was. Wax. That's it. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Oh yeah. They definitely would wax those floors.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So how did you come up with all the ideas for these worlds? Because it sounds like you have them pretty fleshed out. Do you have like it all written down, like all the kind of backstory to it and everything? Or
the only thing that's not written down is the stuff for the Discarded Knight. If there's anything written down for that, it's the short story "A Cold, Cold Future," which is on my blog. But other than that, it doesn't have anything written down for that. But for the Iron Frost universe, for the Ignited Moon, for the Prim Noir, for the Orderman, I've got some stuff written out in notebooks, and then more up in my head as time goes by. I'm also working on a Grimdark, so I've got a lot of things shuffled around, and the Grimdark's pretty fleshed out right now.
So, Andrew, a question for you for Discard at Night or for the Ignited Moon. Have you entered either of those into any competitions?
No, I haven't. I seem to always be missing or the deadlines or be a part of a disqualifier. Like the book came out at the wrong time to enter the said competitions.
So I will tell you for Sphinx, the novella competition, I think you have to have your book out by August. So Discard at Night, you could enter it this year. I will be in there with Proxima Station.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
so it's Sphinx, SPHINX, and then what's
FINC, SFINCS, Sphinx, but F instead of PH.
It's an acronym
Yeah,
for
if
something.
you could email me that information, I'd greatly appreciate it.
What's it an acronym for, Mike?
Science fiction indie or science fiction fantasy indie
novel competition?
Something, I don't know. Novella. Some competition, something like that. I don't know,
so
but
SFIN.
Mike will hook you up after the show with that.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be better than all that because.
And we have royalty here because EL was a finalist this past year with his novella. Cool. So I'm hoping that Proxima Station will do nearly as well.
I wasn't looking.
I was turning. Sorry, if I did it now, there wouldn't be the book up, and it would be wrong, and it would just look like I was being rude.
This I think would do pretty well because it has a diverse cast, and it can speak to many different people because everybody has at one point or another been bullied or maybe they have trouble with their father or their mother, or they have siblings that are in need of their help. And that's a lot of what this book is about is, family and dealing with the struggles and, putting up with people who don't see you as acceptable and just want to mess with you.
There we go. EL for the win.
See, now, what about families where you have brothers or sisters that just really need a good smack upside the head?
That would be a novel part 2 would be an alternate dimension of some kind and everything. And the sound effects written into that would be numerous and everything,
That's right. It sounds like
do you narrate your own books?
What do you say?
Do you narrate your own books?
I have somebody who is working on the audiobook for the Discarded Night. He's been very busy lately, and I'm going to be meeting with him this weekend to see if we could work something out. But I'm thinking I might have to find another narrator. I could probably narrate my own books. It's just the thing is, it's that I'm not very good at reading out loud, and I stumble over stuff. I'm more, like everybody else reads to myself.
Yeah.
So I read every single word, like said, all of that. I kind of really can't help myself.
I just want to say, if you decide to do it, you should talk to EL because he also narrates all of his own books and does a very good job at it. So,
Cool.
So you were saying at the beginning of this, at the top of this whole thing, when I turned on the stream, when you didn't know I had turned it on, that you had sold like some ridiculous amount of books. Mm-hmm. Kind of walk through that again because we picked it up halfway through, and I'm sure that people weren't.
Well, I looked at what I was getting off of Amazon and my other source, Drafted Digital, and I looked at some of those the slips you get in the boxes of the amounts of books you order, and then I also looked at some of my notes because I've been taking notes on how many sales I do in person, and I calculated up to 961 books from the point of November 2024 till July of this year. And that's what I got out of it. And then and then it's kind of a rough number because I didn't start really seriously recording anything until May. So I'm pulling from as many sources as that I had on hand, but it's within that range. And the Ignited Moon, from what I've pulled from Amazon and so forth, has sold 139 copies, whereas the Discarded Knight has sold over 400. It's of course my best of the two as far as selling is concerned. I'd rather write novels, but hey, if the novella is more to people's liking, then have at it, because it's closer to my heart, honestly, than anything else I've written.
So EO wants to know if you do anything special, and I'll just, I've sold 16 pre-orders of Proxima Station.
Most of what I do is organic.
Really?
Most of my sales are very much organic. Online sales were most bountiful in May, and that was because I had a book signing at Barnes & Noble, had sold 12 copies there, posted the picture and that up to X, and it took off. I went viral. I had on the X post, it's pinned on in my profile. It got over 10 million views, and I ended up on Reddit, this like British meme Reddit, and I posted that in my website. So in the news section, you can find that along with all my other interviews.
What's your website, Andrew?
What's that?
What's your website?
It's authorandrewjohnston.com.
And through the power of magic, I think that's going to be displayed here soon.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
Carry on.
What else? Yes. Okay. So the Reddit, which I know very little about Reddit, I guess it's like a rating website. I ended up on there. Someone bought a book through a website, or after viewing a website that was dedicated to hating me, and I don't know why they were hating me.
You had a website dedicated to hating you?
Yes.
Oh my God!
It was a website that was talking about me and hating me for whatever reason. And I think it might have been the crypto guys, because I had an onslaught of crypto people trying to say, "Oh, well, we bought your books out of stock and everything. You're completely out of stock. We bought all this." And then I went and I checked my stats. I'm like, "No, you didn't. You didn't. You crypto guys didn't do that." But I even have. If you look at one of the ratings on Amazon for the Discarded Knight, they said they discovered my book through the viral tweet, and I just took off in May. Now things have slowed to a crawl here in July, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that momentum back.
How many followers do you have on Twitter?
Over 10,000. 10.3.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
10,000, Mike. 10,000.
10,000. I know.
Tens of thousands.
Damn.
I'm about to break 2,400. Yay!
Yeah, I'm not really sure when I started with Twitter. I mean, and then I think I got a little over 2,000 followers on Facebook, and then I have 60 something on Substack, and I don't even count. 63 followers on Substack subscribers. I don't even count TikTok, because TikTok, ever since the initial shutdown, there's something went wrong with that. So now I barely breached 200 as far as the user concerned. I don't know what went wrong with that. But yeah, so I'm in many places, and May was my biggest month. I think personally that I can be very marketable to a small press if push comes to shove, and I'm willing to put the work in.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. You said you do a lot of your sales in person. What kind of events are you going to?
I just talk to random people. I haven't done. I've only done one major book signing. Then I had some other book signings, and then I just kind of like, if I meet you on the street, or if you're a coworker, or what have you, I talk to you about it. And then of course there's also the online sales, but a lot of it was just very much me talking to people, getting to know them a little bit, and being friendly. Now that's not really working as well as it used to, but I'm going to keep on doing that.
Friendly Mike. How about that? There's a thought.
So I'll just tell you this past yesterday, God, it's been a long week. I was going to say this past Monday, which was yesterday, people in my group found out that I'm an author because apparently 6 of them didn't know.
I was going to say, you didn't tell them 18 times?
Well,
you didn't do this?
I did not. Well, I mean, I have them at my desk in case anyone wants to buy it, but they don't stop by my desk. Probably because I'm not like I'm a T-Rex in a Griffin world. But anyway, they all were like, "Oh my God, this is great! This is amazing! I'm definitely going to buy your books. I'm going to buy them tonight." And I can see on Amazon if there's anybody who purchases them, and so I had 6 coworkers all tell me, "Oh, we're going to buy all of your books, Mike." 0 sales.
Oh, no, I feel that.
Did you confront them with it?
No, I don't think confronting is the way to go to sell books. I mean, I could be wrong. I just.
What are they going to do? Not buy it again?
Yeah, they will continue to not buy it.
And the thing is though too is like any chance possible, restaurants, whatever. I talked to whoever I could, whoever I thought might be interested. And like I said, after that Barnes & Noble book signing, I sold 2, and I was a little bit, buzzed and everything in the process, but I still sold 2. And I just keep on going wherever I can to, get sales and talk to people. And it worked out pretty well.
So what you're saying is, if I go to a restaurant and I'm like, $10, if you buy this for $10, I'll leave you alone. Is that how I should do my book pitch?
No, it's just kind of like a thing where you start a conversation and you slip it in there. It's like kind of like if you want to think of a movie with an envelope and the envelope's full of money, but the envelope's not full of money in this case. It's full of your book and details about your book. You just kind of slide towards them metaphorically.
Yeah,
giving away 20 copies to people sworn to leave reviews. Yeah, that's why I don't give away copies anymore. I learned my lesson on that. I did that to drum up sales. I gave away 5 and zilch. So
yeah, giving away paper copies is a great way to throw money into the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah, and watch it go.
I like the sound effects. This is great.
They add something.
So, Ro, are we to the ball time?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Andrew, have you ever played D&D?
I have not played D&D. I kind of swore off table games after I found out that every time I start losing, I start spending large quantities of money on figurines and so forth in hopes of finding better figures, and it became a huge money pit, aka HeroClix. No offense to HeroClix or their creators, but it became a money pit for me. So I was like, no, because then I couldn't, yeah.
Well, Mike is kind of the same way. He rolls dice like the shittiest dice roller you will ever see in your life, and he'll prove it here in a minute. But he keeps buying more dice in the hopes that maybe one of them will be better, and it's just not. But let's.
So, Andrew, what we're going to do here is we're going to have you select one of your characters, and we're going to send them through a portal, a different portal from yours. So it's not canon to your series, but they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to have a potion that is 100% will work, but you don't know what it does. They will get an item, and then there will be a confrontation with some beast. And after we, line it up and say, here's where he's at, here, then we'll basically say, go tell us how the story ends. And if you say like, well, he's going to try to swing and hit the thing, then I'm going to have to roll dice, and I will roll 1 or a 2 on the 20-sided die almost religiously, and it will end up poorly. So if you ask me to roll, it's going to end up poorly. If you just take the bull by the horn and say, and he does this and this, and it'll go much smoother. But that's what we're going to do. So we need you to select a character.
Okay.
From your book.
Okay. From the Ignited Moon, I pick Claude because he is a knoll giant with his the feathers that are built into his head, all trimmed down to the quills, and he carries around a axe made of a specific kind of iron.
He doesn't get to take that with him.
Yeah, he doesn't get to keep his weapon.
But
anyway, he is going to be transported. So let me roll. What is your favorite color?
Black.
So he has a black fizzy potion. Better than the brown fizzy potion from last time, but
Coca-Cola.
Okay, so let me see. He has been transported to the dragon's lair.
Ooh.
And I just had ChatGPT make up these. I'm sorry. There's a lot of adjectives, more than I use in my entire book.
That's not an exaggeration.
So a cavernous hall filled with scattered hordes of gleaming treasures is stretched out beneath a domed ceiling of volcanic rock. A slumbering dragon, scales shimmering like molten gold, lays coil atop the throne of skulls and gemstones. Massive dire bats, really? Cling to the ceiling, occasionally flitting through the shadows to snatch up glittering trinkets left unattended. So Claude has been transported here. He has his black fizzy potion that he knows is 100% effective. And now he gets a choice.
He doesn't know what it does, though.
He can get a common item and face a common animal, or he can get a weapon and he will face a fantasy creature. Which does he choose?
He gets a weapon and faces a fantasy creature.
Okay.
T-Rex.
He gets, let me see here. Let's see, 5, 5, 5. Where are you? He gets a 6-foot glaive.
He's a giant.
This thing right here, a sword with a pole to hold. That's a glaive.
Okay. Oh, that's a glaive. Okay. And so I wasn't sure. I'm like, okay, so it's almost like those blades. Oh, okay.
So
he's a giant knoll, though, so it's really like
yeah.
It's almost like a butter knife for him because he's like 6'7",
holding it with his thumb and his index finger.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. He'll manage.
Okay. Only I could do this. So they're in the dragon's lair with a slumbering dragon, and he meets a massive dragon. Mm-hmm. I rolled a 14, so that is what I get. Mm-hmm. So now he's going in there. He sees all the trinkets. One of the dire bats goes by his head, so he kind of lets out an exclamation as he swats it away. And that makes the dragon lift its ponderous head and look at you. What happens next? And if I'm going to do the dice cam here in case I have to roll because people don't believe I'm as bad at rolling as I am. So,
oh Jesus!
Like the letter opener. Well, Claude is probably going to throw his weapon directly at the jugular or above the jugular of the dragon and pin him through the jaw and up into the brain.
He's going to throw it like a harpoon?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So are you asking if it's successful or are you telling us that it is a successful?
I'm going to say it's successful.
No, you don't get to do that.
Oh, I don't get to do that?
That's not the way this works.
Oh, okay. I'm going to I don't know. This is new to me, so I'm hoping it'll be successful.
You are aiming. How far away is he?
40 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, like you're right underneath the thing.
Yeah, I'm right underneath it. Yeah,
you're just throwing it straight up.
Yeah.
Okay. You should hit something. But to hit exactly where you want, 17 or better.
Okay. 4.
Yeah, you dropped it.
Oh,
on your wind up, it slipped out of your hands.
So now the dragon is a little annoyed because
Does the dragon even know he's there?
No, you don't notice me at all. I'm this big silver skinned guy, and you can't notice me.
If he's under him,
dragon, but I think he wakes up now because all of that hitting all those coins.
Wait a minute. Is the dragon asleep?
I don't know. Is the dragon asleep, Andrew?
I would assume it's awake after dropping a weapon and hearing it ting 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 off the
dire bat flying everywhere. Yeah, he wakes up.
Oh, he wakes up.
Yeah, opens up one eye, sees Claude there, sees a little bit of blood in his hand where it slipped out of the back of his hand, and he makes a slice. It probably needs a couple stitches. So what happens next? What does this dragon do? Does he go back to sleep? Does he breathe fire? Does he talk to him? Does he do a soliloquy?
He talks to him.
What does the dragon say?
He says, "I can barely see you in this darkness. Here, let me get my glasses."
Okay, well, that's just going to make it easier for him.
He puts on the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, okay. Bridge of the nose. It's like right here, and he's got to go.
So they're like reading glasses, and they're only the half. So he has to go.
Well, there's a little cord, and it's pinned under one of his scales and all that, and
nice.
So it doesn't fall off.
Okay.
Is he wearing spats too?
Yeah.
Okay, so he puts on his glasses. So now it's up to Claude. What does Claude want to do? Does he want to try to retrieve his weapon, throw gold coins at him, catch a dire bat? What's Claude going to do now?
Well, because he's from an older time, he's probably going to be curious about the glasses and probably laugh at the dragon.
Solid. I like that. I like that a lot. He laughs at the dragon. Ro, what does the dragon do?
Let Andrew tell us what the dragon does. I'm kind of curious where this is going to go now.
The dragon gets ticked off and says, and then grabs Claw's weapon and whacks him with the butt end of it and knocks Claude on the ground.
Okay, the dragon needs to roll an 8, Mike.
Okay. 18.
Smacks him well across the room.
Well across the room, crashes into a wall, and the wall sconces fall and hit the ground and scatter.
Full Tweety birds around the head, the whole thing.
Exactly, yes.
Nice.
But Claude's bones are made out of iron in the book, so he's gonna,
he's fine.
He's fine. He's pretty good.
Okay, so what does Jean-Noel Van Claude do now?
Jean-Noel Van Claude grabs the two loosened what did I call them? Yeah, the two wall sconces, and they're made out of metal, and he charges at the dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the Knoll use everything to their advantage. They use it's almost like the Native Americans in a way. They use everything. So, whatever they can, bones to fight or to do whatever.
So as he's charging the dragon, what does the dragon do?
The dragon charges right at him. It's like that classic thing to where they're both hitting at each other at the same point.
Love this. Okay, so they are approaching one another. What does Claude do now that they are within 10 feet and closing fast?
He knocks the glasses off of the dragon, and the dragon's like, "I can't see where you're at now."
So the dragon is like just head down.
Yeah, head down. Yeah, it's like and then Claude's like, he swings and cracks the glasses off.
Tangent here, but your dragons, do they have 2 feet or 4 feet?
The dragons in my book are way too big for a cave. They would have probably about 4 feet. They're so massive that they can take naps on like Chicago and New York City because they're just ridiculous. They're like bigger.
So 6 limbs, they have 4 feet and 2 wings.
Yeah, they have like four legs, and then there's one big long body, and they travel via lightning and thunderclouds.
Okay, so he's charging. His head's down. They're within 10 feet. What does Claude do with his wall sconces?
He jumps up and
He
takes the glasses off the dragon.
Oh,
He-
sorry.
he
He
whack-
knocks
yeah,
the glass.
he whacks the glasses off of the dragon.
Well, watch this, Andrew. 15 or better, Mike.
That would be a 6.
Yeah.
He's inside the jaws of the dragon at this point, I would say.
I was going to say he trips in front of him, but okay, that's fine.
I was like, yeah, he trips over the beginnings of the jaw, and he somersaults into the mouth.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
I like-
And the dragon does what?
Well, first of all,
Dragon is like, go off of my tongue.
first of all, these wall sconces, are they lit?
No, they're not. They're not lit because when he hits the wall, he knocks them loose from the wall, and it scatters all the coals and the wood and whatever it is you put in sconces.
You can't light a sconce, you dork.
Okay. Sorry, I was thinking torch.
Sconce is just, it's just the thing that holds the torch.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So anyway,
Oh, well, I had that way off. I might have to rewrite all my books and everything now because I didn't know that. Yeah.
you know what? There are no wall sconces in Proxima Station.
No, there isn't. Okay, lamps. Yeah, or not lamps that look like big torches.
So the dragon, is he going to try to spit him out, or is he going to try to swallow him at this point?
He's going to demand he get out of his mouth. He's like, oh my mouth. So he's going to be yelling at him, basically.
Let's let the dragon spit him out.
Okay, spits him out.
Yeah, dragon will spit him out.
Just 5 or better, Mike. I'm hoping you roll less than if you roll less than a 5, he's going to swallow him or choke on him. Come on,
A 5.
5?
Yes.
There you go.
Spits him out right in front of him. All right, so your boy is like getting to his feet covered in dragon spit.
Yep.
Which
Saturated.
don't forget, you still have the fizzy black potion.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
All right. Well, then he grabs the potion and he shrugs and unplugs the cork and drinks it.
This guy has a very kind of devil may care attitude toward pretty much everything, and I kind of digging it.
Yeah, he doesn't hold back. He's
Not a big
charges.
thinker.
He's not a huge thinker, but like I mean, he uses those instincts, you know.
Okay. So, Mike, what does the potion do?
So it is the Flame Heart Brew. It allows the drinker to become immune to fire and project flames from his hands.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So that was your turn. The dragon. Let's let the dragon breathe fire, as it can't hurt him.
Right.
Even if I roll 20 here?
You're not going to roll 20. Go ahead.
2.
Just you ever seen like a pilot light on a stove?
Yeah.
Dragon opens his mouth. You see a little flicker of light at the back of his throat, but nothing really happens. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Magic dragon, yeah.
Freaking 2.
Okay, well, now it's up to Claude with his immunity to fire and can do fire with his hands. He's staring at the dragon right outside the dragon's mouth, covered in dragon saliva. What does he do?
He welds the dragon's mouth shut using his teeth to make the connection.
Welds the dragon's teeth to each other?
Yeah, to each other.
A dragon breathes fire, though.
Yeah, but then when he breathes the fire, it's gonna shatter all those teeth out, so he won't have any teeth because it will.
How are you going to weld a dragon's teeth together when a dragon's teeth are used to being inflamed?
Well, I mean, my dragons don't even breathe fire. These ones are more observers than anything else.
Oh well, these aren't your dragons, though, Andrew.
Those truly aren't my dragons. Okay, then I would say, okay, hang on. I got an idea now. Okay, what I'm gonna do, what he's gonna do is use those powers from that potion, and because the dragon's staring at him point blank, he's going to launch fire up the nostrils of the dragon and suffocate him.
I like it. Take up all the oxygen. I love it. Bro?
You need an 18 for that to even have a hope.
11.
Yeah.
My best roll today.
Nostril burnt all the nose hairs out.
Exactly, yeah.
Doing that kind of twitchy thing now, but
He has to sneeze.
There's a little bunny rabbit thing in his paw.
yeah, he's going to just try to stomp on you.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Just to like smack him down.
Yeah.
With a paw.
14?
Yep.
11.
Missed you by that much.
I was actually in a play called Get Smart from the television show, and so yeah.
With a shoe phone?
Yeah, the shoe phone and all that.
Yeah.
So, John, stop asking questions. That is the answer.
John 4, it's the potion, man.
It's the Palpatine fire potion.
Yeah, it's the potion.
All right, what's your boy going to do?
Well, since the dragon didn't smash him and shooting flames up into his nostrils failed, he is going to retrieve the weapon that he had previously.
And coincidentally enough, it's right there under his feet, so he can just reach down and grab it.
And he's going to use that potion's powers to heat up the metal on the blade, and that'll create a great. It'll make it easier to penetrate the armor, heat and metal, and he'll throw it at the dragon's chest.
Okay. Why not?
So, in honor of this, I'll use the red die. What do I need to roll?
Everybody's getting tired. 13.
19.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Laugh it up, Buzzball. You can see us in the corridor earlier.
So the dragon keels over sideways. Just perfect.
I was going to say sideways, or does it fall on top of Claude?
No, well, he's put way too much effort into this death scene. I wouldn't let that happen.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Oh, you got the book in there.
Showing my book again. Huh. Who knew?
Who knew?
All right.
There you go.
Yeah. And hold it up there for a little bit longer.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Ignited Moon, that's the one with Claude in it, right?
That's the one with Claude in it.
Okay.
And this is the one with Alfred in it.
Alfred from the Victorian age.
Yep. And then we have the halo.
Yeah, there you go.
And your next book. Your next book is the book 2 of which one of those?
It goes along with the Ignited Moon. It's called Prim Noir, and it visits the more Middle Ages section of the Iron Frost universe.
And when is that due out?
Early 2026.
Okay.
I start production on the cover in September.
Nice.
So
go pick up Andrew's books, get him to 1,000, or pick up 1,000 of mine and get me to 1,000. Whichever.
50 here, 500 there.
Yeah.
There you go. And in case you didn't know, this is now available.
I have such a short memory that I'm so glad that you're reminding us.
I know, right? Yeah. It's like I would never remember the title or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Rosaire is even in the book, so
Very excited. My goodness. You watch Star Trek at all, Andrew?
To be perfectly honest, I don't watch nearly as much television as I used to. I'm watching what's called The Chosen about Jesus and his disciples. But other than that, I don't really watch nearly as much television as I did
You're not
back when I
missing a
was
whole
younger.
lot. But, okay.
No, I'm not
Fair
really
enough.
missing a whole lot. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us from Pennsylvania.
Thank you for
and,
inviting me.
sharing your books with us and giving us
Absolutely.
probably one of the best bald domes we've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
We should
I'm
have
happy
you
to
on just to
entertain.
do bald dome sounds.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
And here for the bald dome, it's Andrew.
I made that face when someone didn't believe that it was me in my little profile picture on X. Like that whole May was insane. You know.
May we all get a 10 million view post one day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In
Yeah.
a website that hates us.
Exactly.
Dedicated to hating us.
Exactly.
You've
Somebody actually
arrived.
made a Peter Griffin looking cartoon of me in the image of from my signing, and it has like these big teeth and so forth. But I look like Peter Griffin, like fat man.
You have arrived. That's awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm jealous.
No kidding, right?
Brian, would you like some Cool Whip?
Ro, we need to start a feud with some other booktubers.
Need to what?
We need to start a feud with some other booktubers.
All right, we'll give it some thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be back tomorrow, everyone. Joe Byrne is on from Wistful Ascending fame. His 8th book, I think, is out now. 7th, 8th book, something like that. And then after that, we are going to have the kindest creature creation ever. It's 6 Canadians next Monday.
You know how you get 6 Canadians out of a pool?
I'm sorry I gave you spikes. I'm being very kind. Pet.
Do you know?
It breathes flames. I don't know. I'm just making up as I go. Everything's just off the top of the head.
How you get 6 Canadians out of a pool? You say, "Will you get out of the pool, please?" That's all it takes.
So Joe Byrne tomorrow. Andrew, thank you. The sound effects are absolutely golden. Love it. Totally. And when your next book comes out, let us know. We'll have you on for a book launch party, and we'll do much the same silly things because we don't really differentiate our shows very much.
Nope.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate it. I will keep you in mind.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, do that. Or just like the episode, leave a nice comment, and we'll catch you 7 o'clock tomorrow. Mike.
7 o'clock tomorrow. All that's
same
left
bad time, same bad station.
Absolutely.
I guess I have to hit end because I'm the one that started it.